6 Belgian nuns stepped off a ship at Fort Vancouver in 1844, and the organized charitable work of the Catholic Church began in Oregon country. The Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur were the first in a line of strong women who have conducted Catholic social action here. Women religious ran orphanages, schools, and hospitals. At the start of World War I, Archbishop Alexander Christie unified these multiple ministries by founding the Catholic Children's Bureau, a forerunner of Catholic Charities. From small offices in Portland, the Bureau advocated for young people and struggling workers, often standing up to the powerful. The leading field representative was the fiery Mrs. T.J. Murphy. One can picture her, hat on low and straight, marching into schools and businesses with righteous intent. When the Great Depression arrived, Oregon Catholic leaders applied the Bureau's coordinating principle to services for all people down on their luck. They coordinated Catholic social service institutions, managed the cases of needy children, and sought funding. Archbishop Howard wanted the new Catholic Charities to aid every needy person in Western Oregon. St. Agnes Baby Home near Oregon City became a key project, as did a nursery for low-income families. Early on, Catholic Charities changed how the public thought about poverty. Father Valentine Moffenbauer, the second director, explained Catholic social teaching to parishes in the late 1930s. Many pastors resisted, thinking they were catching a whiff of communism. But Father Moffenbauer, who had grown up poor, won them over by explaining how the programs reflected the gospel, not Vladimir Lenin. Catholic Charities helped everyone, not just Catholics. And from the start, a lay board of directors guided the ministry.
My father was probably the best businessman I've ever known, and fair and honest. Ethics, absolutely ran the business so ethically. It's just so ingrained in my mind. One night a month, he would sit and just, for hours, just write checks. And it made him so happy. And so Catholic Charities that was right up his alley to do it right locally. Instead of writing checks to all over the country, it just was in his system to get things started. He wasn't one that was just going to sit and watch. I think that's why I have such an affinity for Catholic Charities, is because they're the same age I am. We were born right in the middle of the founding of Catholic Charities, 1933, and I think that's why we've been so close to it.
Catholic Charities began its refugee resettlement work after World War II, welcoming many families displaced by years of battle in Europe. Indonesian refugees began arriving in the early 1960s, as did Cubans after the Castro coup d'etat.
Without Catholic Charities, my family as it is wouldn't exist. So Catholic Charities of Oregon reached out, and my mom's family agreed to come to this cold, unknown state of Oregon in the middle of winter without winter coats. So my sister was on one of the last planes out of Saigon when they were doing the evacuation of the children. Father Park was the person that all the Cubans knew. And he was very tied into the Cuban community. He went to all the Christmas dinners. He was at the weddings. He was like a family member. If I had a chance to speak to Father Park in heaven, I would thank him for my family.
Starting in 1975, Catholic Charities resettled thousands of Vietnamese refugees in the Portland area, helping form a vibrant and leading community. Meanwhile, the agency also placed children in foster homes, processed adoptions, and served unwed mothers. Teams visited elders. In 1996, the agency recognized that migrants need lawyers as much as social workers, and so established the Immigration Legal Services Office. As the new millennium approached, Catholic Charities realized that affordable housing was the pressing social need. The agency now offers more than 1,000 affordable units. Catholic Charities has long addressed homelessness, opening a village of tiny houses for women in 2017 and a transitional apartment house in 2022. All include loving case management.
So when I look back and I consider all the history of Catholic Charities, and I think about the future, I think we have a mission that is so vital and so true. I know it will continue into the future. Catholic Charities of Oregon is grace.
I think my dad would be very proud of what has happened. I mean, starting with just 6 men and so parochial, and to see it the way it is now, I'm sure he's looking down from heaven and very, very happy.